Is Hytale a scam? It was announced over 5 years ago, back in 2018. And even after all this time, there's still no beta and almost zero gameplay. So is the game actually real? Well, after hours of research, I have finally uncovered the truth, and it is surprising. First, let's start with the evidence. Hytale is made by the creators of the hit Minecraft server Hypixel. Maybe you've heard of it. You know Bed Wars? Well, they created that. Well, kinda. The logistics are weird, but this gives them a solid resume. It's clear that they're quite competent when it comes to block-based video games, which is good since they're basically trying to make Minecraft too. I know the goal of Hytale keeps moving and changing, but it really is best characterized by the beautiful term Minecraft 2, complete with different weapon types, different dimensions, and even magic. So we can at least say that the devs have a solid resume for this sort of thing. Before we get into the problems though, I want to quickly mention something that a lot of people don't know about. A year after the announcement trailer was released, Hypixel Studio, our devs in question, are acquired by Riot Games, most known for making insanely addictive competitive games that are somehow not actually fun, like Valorant or League of Legends. And before you attack me, I have too many hours in both of those games. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because I think it helps their case. They've managed to convince a large company that their game is actually real. I mean, Riot doesn't really scam people, unless you count paying your sanity for negative LP, or maybe a $500 skin made for someone who doesn't even actually use skins. Painful price tags, yes, but scamming, not so much. So unless they've actually managed to fool Riot somehow, this was a good signal that the game was real. But then problems started happening, things started to get fishy, and doubt started to creep in. On November 27th of 2019, Hytale got a confirmed release date of 2021. For those of you here now, I think it's clear that Hytale's not in the room with us. After 2 years of waiting, 2021 rolls around with some bad news. Hypixel Studios delays the launch to 2023 at the earliest and says, quote, "It could very well take longer," end quote. After seeing as this is 2024 with no game in sight, not even a beta, I think you can start to understand the issues. Well, they've responded to it with some reasoning, saying that with how well the announcement trailer did, they now have the ability to make sure the game meets expectations, and they doubled down on this after Riot acquired them, saying that they now have the money to really make sure the expectations are met. They say this took them back to the drawing board to really make sure the game would be perfect, and also mentioned how it would be playable on every device, including mobile. While these words sound really good, they're met with very infrequent blog posts, never more than 2 a year, and these blog posts often lacked anything other than just verbal updates, usually having a couple of screenshots, but not often having any footage of gameplay other than their weapons. Their reason for this is that they really didn't have anyone to make blog posts without taking away time from development. Which, while fair, this does destroy the hype that had been built by the trailer. I mean, that thing got 50 million views. By the way, if we could somehow get that on this video, that'd be pretty crazy. Silly. Anyway, it's possible that the devs intentionally did not want to work too hard on communication because they knew it would take forever to get the game out. Maybe they're opting to just work on hype closer to the game's release. Whatever the strategy is, it's causing quite a falling out of the community. I mean, just go look at the subreddit, they're tearing each other apart. I've seen it compared to Elden Ring pre-confirmation and even Silksong. Rip Hollow Knight fans. Now, we get into the real reason why they're saying it's taking so long. A whole new game engine. Apparently, their ideas were simply too great and they needed to make a whole new engine. Now, I'm quite the hopeful person, but when there's so many issues cropping up in its development, it's common to feel like it may never come, especially for people that have lived through the early access era. But don't worry, there is one last beacon of hope for the game, one last thing that kind of points to not a scam. The pay system. If this game is a scam, it has yet to actually scam anyone, other than maybe Riot. But this game has not taken money from anyone. There's no ship you can buy early like Star Citizen, whatever that is. It's just a game announcement. So the scam options that they have left to them are that they are yet to scam the players and it'll be in the future, or they're scamming Riot. And truthfully, I'm 99% sure it's not a scam just for this. I mean, there isn't a Kickstarter. There's no money they're taking from the consumer. If they are scamming, who are they scamming? The time for scamming would have been after the trailer. Even though all these issues would point to a scam for other games, I just don't see it, and I doubt Riot is not double checking to make sure they're not getting robbed. So the good news, for me at least, is that Hytale does exist and it will most likely come out. The bad news is that it's just not going to come out before GTA 6.